Most people assume that political power is meant to reward virtue, that rulers rise because they are just, that stability is created by good intentions, moral character, and shared values. History quietly contradicts this belief. States collapse under idealists, kingdoms survive under realists, and power, when examined closely, behaves less like a moral force and more like a natural one. Niccolò Machiavelli was the first to describe this without apology. I am the visual philosopher. I study philosophy and psychology, not to admire thinkers, but to understand how the world actually moves and why humans move with it. Born in 1469 in Florence, Machiavelli lived in a city defined by instability. Governments rose and fell rapidly. Alliances shifted overnight. Foreign powers invaded, withdrew, and returned. He served the Florentine Republic as a diplomat and administrator, then lost everything when the Medici family returned to power. Exile was not merely personal misfortune. It was the condition that sharpened his thinking. From this position, outside power, watching it operate, Machiavelli produced one of the most unsettling analyses of authority ever written. He was isolated and impoverished. His book, The Prince, was not a general textbook. It was a strategic appeal to the Medici who had overthrown him. Machiavelli was attempting to prove his value, to show that although he had been dismissed and imprisoned, he alone understood the mechanics that allow rulers to keep what they seize. The book was philosophy written under pressure. Analysis turned into survival. Machiavelli did not invent political realism, he named it. Historians like Livy and Thucydides had already described power as it functioned in practice, focusing on ambition, fear, and advantage rather than moral intention. Machiavelli stripped away the remaining theological comfort and wrote openly about what earlier thinkers implied but hesitated to say. Political power does not obey moral rules. Rulers are judged not by intentions, but by outcomes. A state that collapses under ethical purity leaves its people exposed to chaos, invasion, and violence. In that sense, failure is not innocent. Machiavelli does not argue that cruelty is good. He argues that weakness is worse. A ruler who hesitates to act decisively, out of fear of appearing immoral, invites instability. Mercy, when it produces disorder, becomes cruelty in another form. In The Prince, Machiavelli notes that actions are evaluated by results, not motives. The state survives, or it does not. There is no moral consolation in collapse. A ruler does not even need to possess all the virtues they claim to represent, only to appear to possess them. The public judges by what it sees. Reputation travels faster than truth. A successful ruler must therefore be a skilled actor, capable of projecting piety, loyalty, and strength, even when circumstances require their opposite. In politics, appearance is not deception. It is a tool. Power, in this view, operates according to necessity. Machiavelli uses the word virtù, but not in the moral sense. His virtù is competence under pressure. It is the capacity to act decisively in uncertain conditions, to adapt when circumstances change, to impose order when none exists. A ruler with virtù understands human nature as it is, ambitious, fearful, self-interested. They do not rely on loyalty that must be earned daily. They do not assume gratitude lasts longer than advantage. Instead, they design systems that account for instability. Machiavelli praises leaders who shape events rather than react to them, not because they are admirable, but because they are effective. If virtù is human agency, Fortuna is everything beyond control. Chance, timing, unexpected shifts. Machiavelli compares fortune to a flooding river. When calm, it nourishes the land. When uncontrolled, it destroys everything in its path. Wise rulers prepare during calm periods. They build levees. They strengthen institutions. Those who rely on luck mistake temporary success for stability. When conditions change, such rulers fall quickly. Power survives not by denying chance, but by preparing for it. Perhaps Machiavelli's most famous claim concerns fear and love. Love depends on obligation. Fear depends on consequences. Because human loyalty shifts with interest, love is fragile. Fear, when controlled and predictable, is durable. Machiavelli is careful here. He warns against hatred. Fear must never become personal cruelty. It must be institutional, impersonal, and restrained. The goal is not terror. It is predictability. People tolerate authority when rules are clear and consequences are known. Machiavelli did not invent political cruelty. He documented its mechanics. His work does not celebrate power. It removes illusions about it. By separating politics from moral comfort, Machiavelli exposed a difficult truth. Societies survive not because leaders are good, but because systems account for human weakness. This is why his ideas remain disturbing. They do not reassure. They clarify. And clarity, once achieved, cannot be undone. What about Machiavelli unsettles you the most? Tell us in the comment. You can also comment the philosopher you want me to break down next. See you in the next episode.